All right, so get this. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed when you're trying to make a big decision? Like when you have too many good options and you just get stuck.
Ah, yes, the paradox of choice. It's a real thing.
Right. And that's what's so interesting about Catherine's story. She wrote this blog post called The Coup de Coeur, My Serendipitous Discovery of a Dream Portuguese Farmhouse. And it's about so much more than just real estate. It gets into decision fatigue, trusting your gut, and those unexpected moments that change everything.
It's fascinating, how she goes from feeling totally stuck
Mm.
to having this crystal clear aha moment. It really highlights the power of intuition, something we often ignore in
Mm.
favor of endless research.
Exactly, like scrolling through listings, daydreaming about Portugal, France, Spain, each with its own unique charm, right?
Right.
Catherine was in the same boat. She was even leaning towards Madeira initially.
But she said it was a bit too vertical. And this detail, as small as it seems, is so telling.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's like that crucial first step we often overlook. Aligning your choices with your lifestyle, your preferences. It's not just about the country or the picture-perfect house. It's about how well it really fits you.
Yeah, it's like choosing a travel destination based on Instagram photos without considering if you even enjoy hiking. So how do we avoid this? How do we move from decision paralysis to that sudden, this is it feeling? Well, Catherine calls it a coup de coeur, which basically means,
A sudden rush of love, that heart-skipping-a-beat moment. In Catherine's case, it was sparked by a single image of this farmhouse online. And this is where it gets really interesting from a psychological perspective.
okay, so let's unpack this. She sees this picture, and bam! It's like love at first sight, but with a house.
In a way, yes, our brains are incredibly powerful image processors. Think about it. We can recognize a familiar face in a crowd instantly, even from a distance. Visuals bypass our logical filters and tap directly into our emotional centers. And it's not even just about, pretty pictures. Researchers have found that visuals, especially ones that resonate with our own personal preferences, our aspirations even, they can trigger this really powerful emotional and physiological response.
So it's like our brain is saying, yes, this is what I've been looking for before we even realize it.
Exactly. And this is where that coup de coeur, that gut feeling comes in. It's not just about liking a house. It's more about feeling this pull you can't explain, an alignment of desires and possibilities.
Yeah.
And for Catherine, well, this farmhouse, it wasn't just aesthetically pleasing. It ticked all the boxes.
Right. She talks about the garden, the nearby village, even the potential for renovations. It's like this one picture just crystallized everything she wanted.
Yes, and that's such a crucial point. This wasn't about just escaping to any charming village in Europe. It was about her environment, aligning with her dream lifestyle. She didn't want a bustling city center or a remote mountaintop retreat.
She wanted that sweet spot, engaged with the community, but with space to breathe. Surrounded by nature, but not totally isolated. And this farmhouse, nestled in the Portuguese countryside, it just fit. But here's the thing, Catherine admits she's not usually impulsive.
That's what makes her story so interesting. It's not like she's throwing caution to the wind. She researches, she weighs her options, yet something about this was different. It made her act quickly, and that is the power of intuition.
So it's not about ignoring logic completely, it's about knowing when your gut is onto something.
Absolutely. Our intuition, it draws on our experiences, memories, and all that subconscious processing that we don't even realize is happening. It's like a secret weapon for making decisions.
Okay, I like that. It's like that time you have a hunch about something and it turns out you were right, even if you couldn't explain why at the time.
Exactly. We often dismiss those hunches as being irrational or impulsive, but they can be incredibly insightful.
So how can we learn to trust our gut more? How do we differentiate between a fleeting whim and a genuine coup de coeur?
Now that is the question, isn't it? Part of it is paying attention, tuning into those subtle body sensations, the emotions that come up when something really resonates with us. Often our gut speaks through excitement, a feeling of rightness, even if we can't explain it logically in the moment.
So we need to be open to those feelings, those intuitive nudges, instead of just dismissing them?
Exactly. It's about acknowledging that our intuition can be a really valuable guide, especially for those big life decisions where logic alone might not lead us down the most fulfilling path. Catherine's experience, it reminds me of this fascinating study.
Okay, I'm curious now, what did this study find?
Well, it actually found that people who trusted their intuition tended to report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction.
Really? Wow, so it's not just about Like, finding the perfect house. It's about trusting your gut to lead you to a more fulfilling life overall.
Yes, exactly. And, there's another aspect of Catherine's story I think is worth mentioning. It's not just about finding the right place, but about finding that sense of belonging, of feeling truly at home.
I love that you brought that up because it's so true. You could be in the most amazing place in the world, but if you don't feel connected, it's just scenery.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, we can actually cultivate that feeling of belonging in the most unexpected places. It's about meaningful relationships, engaging with our communities, finding joy in the simple things.
Creating a life that feels authentic,
Right.
aligned with what matters to us.
Exactly. And sometimes that might mean taking a leap of faith, like Catherine did. Stepping outside your comfort zone, embracing the unknown, trusting your intuition to guide you.
So what does this all mean for our listeners? I mean, we're not all relocating to the Portuguese countryside.
Right, but we all have these moments, these coup de coeur moments where things just click. It might not be a house, maybe it's a career change, a creative pursuit, a relationship even. The possibilities are endless.
It's about being open to those unexpected opportunities.
And most importantly, it's about trusting that inner voice, even when it takes you down a less conventional path. Who knows? It might lead you to your own version of that charming farmhouse, a place where you can truly thrive.
I love that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Catherine's journey, what's the one thing you really hope listeners take away from this?
That coup de coeur, that intuitive spark, it's not just some whimsical idea. It's a powerful force that can lead us to a more fulfilling life. So pay attention to those gut feelings, those moments when something just clicks, and don't be afraid to take a chance on them.
On that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep listening to that inner voice. You never know where it might lead you.